On this special edition of Lexington Now, taking a stand for voting rights, the Versailles Road Corridor Project, and avoiding pandemic scams. I'm Neil Noah, and welcome to Lexington Now for the week of August 24th, 2020. This past week marked the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, and a new monument was dedicated to celebrate the milestone in women's suffrage movement.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our celebration of the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment. A day later than planned, but a beautiful night indeed, right? Mother Nature is certainly blessing us this evening. I'm Renee Shaw with KET, and I'm honored to be a part of this program tonight. We're also here to dedicate Stand, a sculpture by nationally renowned artist Barbara Grygudis, recognizing the contributions of women.
This beautiful monument, titled Stand, that we unveil tonight is the expression and symbol of 2 years of inspiration and hard work on the part of so many that made this moment possible. Please, let's give them all a round of applause. And finally, welcome to Lexington, ladies. You made it here and on time. August 18th marked exactly 100 years since the 19th Amendment was ratified, granting women in America the right to vote. Tonight, we all share in this remarkable celebration. What an unbelievable accomplishment, everyone involved, and for the city of Lexington. In a March 31st, 1776 letter, Abigail Adams wrote to her husband, John, "I desire you would remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them. Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men could be tyrants, if they could. If particular care and attention is paid to the ladies, we will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation." As initially drafted, the Declaration of Independence nor the Constitution bestowed rights upon women. 1848 marked the creation of the Declaration of Sentiments by Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton at the Seneca Falls Convention. Women first insisted they be granted all the rights of men. Racism, economic oppression, violence, lack of access to higher education, and coverture, the legal doctrine treating married women's possessions as her husbands. Women battled them all. But of all the battles, the battle for the ballot became the centerpiece of the women's rights movement. Make no mistake, the 19th Amendment did not trumpet the end of marginalization and exclusion of Native, Asian, Latin, and African American women. Their battle for the ballot was longer and harder. We pay tribute to the many prominent Kentucky suffragists whose fight gained this triumph, and the hundreds of thousands more who marched, agitated, and suffered to ensure their mothers, sisters, and daughters the right to vote.
Lexington is shining bright tonight. 100 years ago, the world was recovering from a dangerous pandemic. Like COVID-19, the Spanish flu pandemic killed thousands of people. And like COVID-19, the 1918 pandemic complicated everything, including the drive for women's suffrage. As a registered nurse, I'm so proud of the role that nurses played in the passage of this amendment. In part, because of nurses' involvement in World War I and their work to fight the Spanish flu, people began to understand the importance of women's contributions to the country. And they began to understand that women should have a voice in the running of our country through voting. This sculpture, which we've named Stand, commemorates the importance of women's contributions to our country and to our city. In our city, with her 245-year history, those contributions have been many. It is wonderful to have a sculpture such as this that begins to recognize the vote and all that women have done to make Lexington a great place to live, work, raise a family, and play.
There's a famous line from an old movie that really resonates, and that line is, "Show me the money." In Lexington, Kentucky, that is exactly what you did. It was funny, Councilmember Versailles and I were talking about two years ago when we all started this. It was, what should we raise? How much should we raise? Actually, wish I could tell you we did a lot of research, and we didn't. All we did, we said, oh, how about $500,000? And so it was a good number because we did achieve that number. And it also, thank you, it also attracted 127 nationally known artists across the country. I do want to share, though, a profile of our donors. We had 479 donors from January the 1st, 2018 to July the 2nd, 2020. They ranged in age from age 5 to 100. Notably, 387 of these donors were from individual women. And many contributed even more than one time. 33 were made directly from men. I wasn't going to say anything there. 55 donations, or 12%, came from family charitable funds, businesses, government, academic institution, and corporate foundations. We had 25 major donors who contributed between $10,000 up to actually $100,000, which accounted for 70% towards our $500,000 goal. This was a really cool project for our community, and I was so proud of how our community responded to this. It was a challenging time, but our folks saw through it, and they knew that this was the right thing to do and the right time to do it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Stop now. We've come so far.
This past week also marked the official kickoff of a major corridor improvement project along Versailles Road. We were there for the announcement.
The goal of the project is to make Versailles Road much safer for pedestrians. It features wider sidewalks away from the edge of the road, new curbs, and grass median between Village Drive and Mason Headley to calm the traffic. This project is about taking care of the basics. It's kind of like hometown housekeeping. Every homeowner knows that taking care of a home means keeping up with the basics. The same is true for our city. Hometown housekeeping is an important mission for our government. It's something we must always keep moving forward, even in a pandemic. This project is long overdue, and we are so happy it has begun, and we'll be glad when it's finished.
The Versailles Road Corridor Improvement Project is one that has been in the works for many, many years, way before I was elected to council. Former Councilwoman Henson poured her heart into making sure this project happened, along with many others, including Councilmember Maloney, who's here today. Versailles Road is a very important route here in Lexington. It takes people from the airport and Keeneland in and out of town to downtown and Respirator as well. Many locals and people visiting Lexington travel it every day. And there are a lot of positive things about this corridor. And there's many small and locally owned businesses right off of the corridor and restaurants that people visit frequently. And the corridor can connect you to many parts of town quickly. There's also a lot of residential housing right off of the corridor. And many, many families travel this area by foot, by bike, and by vehicle every single day.
Thank you, Mayor. So the project entails taking the sidewalks from the current 4 feet to 6 feet wide, and also pulling them anywhere from 2 to 7 feet away from the edge of curb. And that's really just for the pedestrian experience. Anyone who's walked this section or other sections where you have high-speed traffic next to pedestrian facilities is just a level of comfort that you don't have there, and this will really improve that. Also, we're adding, currently has an existing bike lane, but we're improving on that, and that we're widening it to 5 feet, and we're also adding a 2-foot buffer between the travel lane and the bike lane. So again, the goal of the project, we're really achieving that with improving pedestrian and bicycle safety, because that's the primary goal. It'll also tie well into a project that we just finished that both Councilmember Reynolds and former Councilmember Peggy Henson had a role in, and that's the connection to Oxford Circle. So we're just wrapping that up now, so that'll complete that leg from a highly residential neighborhood over here to the commercial neighborhood that we have here. So 2 other things to cover: maintenance of traffic. As you see today, we have traffic down to 1 lane in each direction. That'll only be during non-peak times, not during peak hours, rush hour. Also, we're working with the contractor to ensure at least one side of the sidewalk is open at all times, because just because construction starts doesn't mean people stop using the sidewalk. So the north side, which you can see directly behind me, has been demoed, and we're hoping to pour that concrete next week. And once that's completed, we'll start work on the other side. As far as schedule is concerned, we're shooting for majority of the work, which includes the retaining walls, both adjacent to the cemetery and over across from Village Drive. Those are necessary just to widen the sidewalk and bring it back away from the edge of the roadway. But majority of the work should be completed in January. Unfortunately, asphalt plants are closed usually until March or April, so it'll be about April before we'll close out the project. Thank you.
We'll tell you how to avoid falling victim to pandemic scams when we return.
Please wear a mask. Please wear your mask.
Please wear a mask.
Please wear a mask. Please wear a mask.
Please wear a mask so that the senior center can open soon.
Please wear a mask so I can celebrate my 80th birthday.
So that I can feel safe wherever I go in Lexington.
So we can attend our son's wedding.
To give me the ability to run errands and stay active and independent.
We can seniors get back to our normal routine.
Welcome back to Lexington Now. An unfortunate part of any time of crisis is the rise in people looking to take advantage of the situation. Tim Gibson joins us with Heather Clary of the Better Business Bureau to talk about how you can avoid scams during the pandemic.
Thanks, Neil. As most of us have our hands full dealing with this pandemic of COVID-19, now we must deal with another problem during this, and that's COVID-19 scams. Joining us now, Heather Clary, Director of Communications for the Better Business Bureau of Central and Eastern Kentucky. Hello, Heather.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for having me on.
Well, all this is going on. People are nervous. They don't want to catch this thing, but now they got to be watching for something else. Scams. Just exactly what's going on.
Well, the con artists are very good at evolving. They're like chameleons. They can adjust easily to whatever the situation is. And ever since the coronavirus pandemic began, they have not missed a beat. However, your Better Business Bureau has not missed a beat either. We have been on top of things and communicating with consumers and keeping on top of what kind of scams are out there to warn the public about. It all began with online scams and fake websites offering the sale of masks, especially the coveted N95 masks, hand sanitizer, and those scams still go on. People are online looking for these items. They click on there, they pay money, and they don't receive their product. That's where the BBB wants to warn people. You really need to look at the website you're using. Where is it located? Time and time again, a consumer tells us, I've been on this website, and it doesn't say where they're located, and it turns out to be overseas or even in China, and then you're kind of out of luck. No one in the United States can assist you with trying to get your money back or your product. There are other scams going on too. You name it, it's going on. A lot of people have been at home more, so they're attached to the internet more. And the cons are coming up with things that the government's been doing to try to assist, do stimulus payments, SBA loans to small businesses. Well, the con artists have been impersonating these government agencies. They've done this in the past, but these have a new twist to them. They're pretending to be with the SBA. We can speed up your loan if you will just complete this form or click on this link. Or we can get you your stimulus payment even more quickly if you click on this link and give us your information. Things like that. The government does not communicate with people through text links, through Facebook Instant Messenger, which some people are getting communications from, rarely ever email, and they certainly do not call you on the phone. So if you're receiving communications from anyone pretending to be with the government, whether it's the IRS about your taxes, whether it's, it's pretending to be the SBA, whether it's pretending to be anybody with federal or state government wanting information from you, and it just doesn't sound quite right, it's very worth checking it out further, because chances are it's a scam trying to steal your money and your information.
Who is the main victim of this? Is it young people or is it the elderly? Usually we hear these scams, it's usually the elderly.
The Better Business Bureau Scam Tracker report for 2019 again showed that most people that were more susceptible to scams were actually in their 20s and 30s. And the older crowd, while they were less likely to fall for something, if they did fall for something, they lost more money. So it really comes down to anyone can fall for it. And with everybody being on edge and being out of a routine, it would be easy to be confused by some communication you received, whether by email, whether by text, whether through social media. And that's why you just really have to use your head and be very careful about what it is you respond to instantly. So many folks have seen things online that they would like to buy while they are at home, not just items to fight against COVID, sanitation products and things like that. And again, they're just hopping on Facebook pages and saying, I bought this, I ordered that, the page disappeared, I haven't got my product. Just because it's on the internet doesn't always mean it's legitimate. You've got to check these organizations out. Now, the Better Business Bureau has a website, easy to remember, bbb.org, as we are a private nonprofit business organization. If you'd like to look at topics related to COVID-19, as we've discussed here, just log on to bbb.org/coronavirus. There's a variety of topics you can read about to educate yourself so that you don't lose money to these con artists. You can always email us through our website. We are responding to those emails daily. We have been working remotely, like many folks have, so that our staff can stay safe and continue to serve you. So whether you're a consumer or if you're a business interested in finding out about BBB accreditation and how to get on board as an accredited business with us, because those are the businesses that make it possible for us to provide our services to the public for free. Just email us at info@bluegrass.bbb.org or email us through our website and visit us on our Facebook page. We are at Better Business Bureau of Central and Eastern Kentucky, and you can find us on Twitter as well.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and giving us all this information.
Well, I hope everyone finds it useful, and remember, when in doubt, check it out. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, and please let us know if we can help you in any way.
The city continues to ramp up efforts to help end the pandemic through mobile testing sites that have been set up at various locations around town. Here's how they work and how you can get tested.
Well, we're trying to put the testing in locations where we're seeing the greatest percentage of positives in our population. And that's primarily the Hispanic and the African American population. But the testing is open to anyone that wants to come and get a test.
Testing so far has gone fabulous. We've had a tremendous turnout, which I think was the goal. We are not taking appointments, so we're allowed to, anybody and everybody can come. And we're getting an incredible turnout, I think, as you can see today.
With the health department and with other partners and with the governor's office, trying to provide the services to our population that are needed. And more testing was one of those things. And so it just made sense, for the city to partner up with all these folks to make this available.
We're going to keep going until they stop. So we're here today from 11 to 7. Tomorrow we're noon to 8, and then the next day I think we're 9 to 5. So we're gonna swab as many people as we can. There's no limitations on the amount of tests that are available, so we'll keep going till the last patient comes.
It's free to the person. With the partner we have in Blue Water Labs, they will ask for an insurance card. If you have one, there's an arrangement with the insurance. There's no copay. If you don't have insurance, then that's fine. Then that's picked up by some of the CARES Act money. So there is no cost to the testing. And we're trying to provide information in languages in Spanish or other languages if necessary. We're trying to explain to everybody what the test is and what it will do for you. And then also how to get your test results. And then also what may happen if you test positive, how you'll be contacted by the health department and all that.
So you have two options. You have the drive-up option, which is why you're seeing the cars, and then you also have the ability to walk up. So someone can park and walk up as well. So those are the two options. It can be compared to the flu test a little bit. It's a different type of swab. It's a nylon flock swab, very flimsy, very small, not as uncomfortable as the flu swab. So I think you can feel good about that. But yeah, it's a nasopharyngeal swab, which you do stick up the nose, and it's more like, I like to tell the children that get tested, it's more like getting a little water up your nose.
All the folks that have come through the line have been extremely appreciative that the service is there. We've not really had any big issues, even like a lot of times the wait is like 50 minutes. And people are happy to do that, to be able to have this service available to them.
We're swabbing a lot of people. So a lot more people are willing to get out to get tested. In the beginning, if they were symptomatic, they'd want to come get tested. We're encouraging everybody to get tested now. This is not if you're just symptomatic and you don't feel well, get tested. But even if a symptom's not an issue for you, come out and get tested. I think in the long run, you'll feel better about where you're at, and then being around the people that may be a little bit more vulnerable.
They'll give you information where you can go to a website, to a link or something else and see your results. So you can kind of see for yourself that negative, and you can print that out so that if you need to take that to your employer, you can.
We are going to be opening up multiple sites with the city. We don't know what those sites are yet, but the goal is to swab as many people as possible. The more tests we get out throughout the community, whether you're asymptomatic or you're symptomatic, please come get tested. And I think the more you do that, the better off we'll be in the long run.
We want to stress the importance of wearing a mask, social distance, washing your hands. All of those things are critically important for us to, take the curve in a different direction than it's going right now. And that we plan to continue this as long as it's needed, and we will be moving locations around throughout the community. So keep watching the health departments in the cities and our Facebook pages and our websites, and you'll be able to keep up with us where we're going.
New sites and times continue to be added. Check the city's official COVID-19 page for details. The majority of meetings at City Hall have been moved to the virtual format, and we are bringing many of these meetings to you live. Check out our website for the most accurate and up-to-date coverage of city business. We're here to keep you up to date on how the city is handling the pandemic via our official COVID-19 response site. Simply click on the banner at the top of our homepage. That's all for now, but as always, you can keep up with us on social media, check out the latest traffic updates on Twitter at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on lexingtonky.gov. For all of us at Lex TV, I'm Neil Noah, and that's it for now.